What you just saw is the end of an era. A factory that has operated for more than a century is shutting its doors forever. The world's largest mozzarella producer has made its final decision, and 368 families are about to lose everything they have worked for. This is not just another business closure. This is the beginning of something much bigger. And what happens next could change the price of every single pizza you buy for years to come. Tonight, we are taking you inside the story that California officials do not want you to hear. A billion-dollar betrayal, generations of workers left behind, and a warning sign that experts say we absolutely should have seen coming. What we uncover in the next few minutes will fundamentally change how you think about where your food comes from. Let us start with what we know. Leprino Foods, the company that supplies mozzarella to every major pizza chain in America, including Domino's, Pizza Hut, and Papa John's, has announced the closure of its historic Lower California facility. This plant opened in 1910. It survived the Great Depression, it survived 2 world wars, it survived every single economic crisis of the last century, but it could not survive California in 2024. The company produces over 1 billion pounds of mozzarella every single year. Their 2 Lower facilities together process 14 million pounds of milk daily. That is not a typo. 14 million pounds of milk every single day, transformed into 1.5 million pounds of cheese. We are talking about the backbone of the American pizza industry, and it is collapsing right before our eyes. And now half of that massive operation is going dark forever. Former employee Dave Costa worked at this plant for 35 years. His father hauled milk cans to this same facility back in the 1950s. His son-in-law currently works at the company's other Lower location. 3 generations of one family, all connected to these walls. Costa called the announcement devastating. He said workers who spent 25 years building careers are now facing retirement with nothing. These are loyal people who gave everything to this company. But here is where this story takes a much darker turn. And trust me, you absolutely need to hear what comes next. In January 2025, Leprino Foods opened a brand new $1 billion facility in Leach, Texas. 850,000 square feet sitting on 260 acres. This massive mega plant processes over 500,000 gallons of milk daily from 200 trucks. When fully operational, it produces 1.5 million pounds of mozzarella cheese every single day. It took 4 million work hours and 1,400 contractors to build this incredible facility from the ground up. Think about what that really means. Leprino executives looked at all their options and decided that building a $1 billion facility from scratch in Texas was cheaper than keeping their century-old California plant running. That calculation should terrify every single business owner in this state. When the math says start over somewhere else entirely, something is seriously wrong with the business environment. The Texas facility is already running at impressive capacity. By March 2025, it reached 300 full-time employees. It processes 8 million pounds of milk daily. It returns 2 million gallons of clean water to the city of Leach every single day. Plant manager Scott Conant called it a testament to the region's appetite for growth and the most sustainable facility in Leprino's entire global fleet. Meanwhile, California loses everything it built over more than a century. Mayor Patricia Matthews called the closure announcement a shock that nobody expected. The city has no backup plan whatsoever. When anchor businesses leave, cities enter death spirals. Tax revenue collapses, services get cut, infrastructure crumbles. Remaining businesses follow them out the door. This destructive pattern has devastated communities before. Now, if you are finding this coverage valuable, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It helps us continue bringing you important stories like this one. Your support means everything to this channel, and it allows us to keep investigating these crucial issues that affect all of us. Let us talk about the ripple effects, because this is where things get truly alarming. California dairy farmers just lost their largest customer overnight. Those 14 million pounds of milk processed daily came from local farms within trucking distance. When the East plant closes, 7 million pounds of milk daily has nowhere to go. Farmers must find new buyers or dump their product entirely. Texas dairy farmers gain a billion-dollar customer. California dairy farmers face potential bankruptcy and foreclosure. Industry analysts project food prices could spike 10 to 15% when major processing facilities close. One expert estimated consumers could see $1 to $2 increases per pizza within just a few months. The cheese that used to travel 30 miles from Lohr to Fresno will now ship 1,500 miles from Texas. Every single mile adds costs that consumers will ultimately pay at the checkout. The human toll is staggering and heartbreaking. According to official notices, 368 workers face layoffs at the East plant. Another 268 employees were laid off in January 2025. An additional 100 employees face termination by December 2026. These are not minimum wage positions. These are the highest-paying factory jobs in the entire Central Valley. Skilled workers who understand specialized equipment and possess decades of institutional knowledge. And Leprino is not alone in leaving. This exodus is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. Within months of the Leprino announcement, Anheuser-Busch declared they were closing their Fairfield brewery. Blue Diamond Growers is dismantling their 110-year-old Sacramento almond facility in February 2026. Ruiz Foods moved their corporate headquarters from Tulare County to Frisco, Texas, back in 2023. The pattern is unmistakably clear. The state that produces more food than anywhere else in America is watching its processing capacity evaporate before its eyes. California currently imports 30% of its processed food. After Leprino and other processors close, experts predict that number will climb to 40% or higher. Every import adds transportation costs, carbon emissions, supply chain risks, and price volatility. The company released a carefully worded statement explaining the closure. They cited the facility's age, anticipated capital requirements, and, quote, high operating costs in California, end quote. That phrase is the only one that matters. Everything else is corporate speak designed to soften the blow. Governor Newsom has said nothing publicly about losing one of the world's largest mozzarella producers. No statement, no acknowledgement, no plan to address the problems driving food processors out of the state. Complete silence from Sacramento. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott and local officials celebrated landing what they called the largest private capital investment in Leech County history. Texas officials project $10.6 billion in economic impact over the next decade. One state's devastating loss becomes another state's massive gain. Here is what keeps industry experts up at night, and you should be paying very close attention to this. Food processing does not just employ workers. It anchors entire regional economies. Dairy farmers need processors within trucking distance because milk spoils quickly. You cannot ship it across the country. When Leprino closes, Central Valley dairy farmers lose their primary customer. Those farms face closure too. Then the feed suppliers collapse. The veterinarians lose clients. Equipment dealers close. Truckers have no loads to haul. Everyone in the dairy supply chain suffers together. The irony is painful. California produces more milk than almost any state in the nation. The Central Valley has water, land, and climate conditions that are ideal for dairy production. Yet the state cannot keep the processing facilities that turn that milk into cheese. We are watching an entire industry relocate in real time. December 2025 is here. The facility closes in weeks, production shifts to Texas, workers face their final paychecks. The plant that employed generations of families falls silent forever. Dave Costa put it simply, this is going to devastate the community of Lohr. Not getting all these taxes that have been coming in over the years, it is going to put a hurt on the city big time. Leprino Foods saw this coming years ago. They made their move while they still could. They built their future in Texas and abandoned their past in California. The question now is not whether more companies will follow. The question is how many are already planning their exit right now. For the families of Lohr, for the dairy farmers losing their biggest customer, and for every consumer who will soon pay more for their pizza, this story is far from over. We will continue following this developing situation and bring you updates as they happen.